Are these black people victims of modern day lynchings? Let's unpack this. What's up, guys? Today we're going to talk about these cases a little bit, give my insight into what I think is going on. But make sure you guys hit the subscribe button and leave any comments you have, whether or not you like this video or things that are being said or don't like it. But unpacking this, first thing I want to say is my condolences to the families of Nolan Xavier Wells, Cyrus Cormac Belton, Jelani Day, we ain't forgot about you, Tamala Horsford, and many, many other and countless other black people that have perished at the hands or under suspicion after being around white people, most of the time being the only black in these white spaces, and most of the time it's somewhere where we're in their leisure spaces and come up missing. And usually when we come up missing, we come up dead or deceased. I mean, there's another case that comes to mind where I think he was a black guy. He was a nurse. He was married to a white woman, and they found him like with just his shoes, no clothes, just his shoes on, I believe, something like that. But there's plenty of these cases. But to me, there seems to be that pattern of one of very few, if not the only black person in a group of all white people, and a lot of times it's near water. For some reason, these incidents and these people, they like to get black people in the water for some reason, and it's a weird, strange thing. But how we see the world these days, a lot of people like to believe that racism is gone, that lynchings is gone, and that the system that built this country on hating black people and destruction of black bodies, a lot of people, both white and black, seem to think that we're in a post-racial society. And any person with a little bit of understanding of how these things work, you know that racism, it's not open anymore. It's more covert. The tenets of it are the same, but the methods in which it's enacted upon black people is still there. So these same people, they are their ancestors. They are their forefathers. I mean, some of these kids that are doing these things now, their grandparents and great grandparents participated in lynchings. Their grandparents and great grandparents that are still alive, they sat in on picnics where people were lynched. They're on the postcards. Some of these people on the postcards are from those times, the 20s, 30s, 40s. Some of those people that are on these postcards, those people, if not them, their children are readily identifiable. So we haven't escaped anything. Slavery never went away. The 13th Amendment says that slavery is abolished except for by um, being convicted of a crime. And then immediately everything that black people did became a crime. Hanging out on corners, more than two people. If you're out there waiting for a job or trying to get a job, you could be arrested and then you're thrown back on the plantation. So all of those things that we like to do were made criminal. And it's seeming to me like what we're seeing with these cases, the Tamla Hordsford case, for example, everybody wakes up and then somebody finds her supposedly laying in the front yard. I mean, are there no neighbors? Like if somebody's laying in the yard all night and there people ride by, is that neighborhood that bad where people are getting wasted to the point where they're regularly laying on front lawns drunk? Because that's what they're saying. That I believe they were saying that it was alcohol in her system and she may have fell off of the balcony because of drinking or whatever, and then which meant that she would have laid there all night. And then there's no cars in in that neighborhood that ride by um, all night. Someone from the house had to find her. I believe it was the husband, which is I believe one of the last people that saw her the night before as well. So it's fishy. And then you have Jelani Day. This case too was a big case. It still is a big case. And he came up missing from school and or leaving school, and he never returned. And his car was found in a suspicious place. And then there was rumors of the teacher and her husband and those type of things. And then you have Cyrus, a young black kid that was shot in the back, and then by an Asian guy, and the Asian guy was acquitted. So you have these instances. These are just the four most recent, and they're high profile and they're big in the black community on black YouTube because these things are affecting us and our children, and we're starting to feel a certain way. And then when you let foreigners come into our country and then harm us in our own country, then it makes it even worse of an ordeal because we're still dealing with white people and the way that they treat us and the way that they do us with these things, with these modern day lynchings that are masqueraded as drownings, as lynching of a person being found tied to a tree, but it's supposedly a suicide and it's ruled a suicide almost immediately without any investigation. There's no way, there's nobody else involved, but there's always these unanswered questions, and there's always these rumors, and there's always these stories of other people talking and basically confessing to friends, family, strangers that they actually did commit these crimes, but nobody's getting in trouble for these things. And in the black community, we're starting to notice that these are patterns now. And it's time for us to stop allowing our black children to be the only black person going in these white spaces. It's getting too dangerous for us as black people in these modern days and times where you have Trump in office and you have all of these kooks that are trying to bring back all of these racist behaviors, not understanding that Trump is only going to be there for a short amount of time. Um, the scriptures say, give her double what she gives to you. So for everything that you guys do to us in secret, there's double to be paid for that. Just remember, there's double to be paid. So, and it's required. These cases, these type of cases are just they're sad and they're upsetting because you have people that commit these crimes against us and then they either are found not guilty or they don't get any punishment at all. And the scriptures say they that they that basically like they that stole you, they hold themselves not guilty. They kill you and hold themselves not guilty. And that's what we see. But the times are the times are shortening. The days are getting longer, but the times are shortening. And this, all of this, at some point, it's all got to be dealt with. There are people in the black community that think that there's solutions to this thing, to these things. There are so-called allies, or you know, I at times I don't see it. The scriptures say, "Never trust thine enemy, for as iron rusted, so is his, so is It's like he looks into a looking glass, and you still will see the iron rusting behind the glass. It's like looking in the mirror, in the old mirror, and seeing the rust. Just because you cleaned it up, you still can't get rid of the rust that's on the inside of that. So it's saying basically, your enemy, they may make themselves look pretty on the outside, but they're still ugly and evil on the inside. And I think that this is ingrained in racist white people. I believe that there are people that don't believe that evil is born into people. You believe that it's taught. But the scriptures don't say that it's taught. It says that the spirit that's in them is not upright in them. So the Lord said, and what he made crooked, no man can make straight. So if they're made that way, they're born that way. And when they choose to do these things to us, this is something that is generation after generation after generation after generation after generation. There is nothing that I can see that's that strong that is teachable to people who interact with other people, and you see that they're human, and still you choose to go with the narrative that they're not human, or treat them like they're not human. Again, black people, we don't have this thing where we have done all of these harms and wrongs to white people, or to Asian people, or to Indian people, or Arab people, or any of these people. But we do have all of those communities that have done things to us, both in their own countries and in our country here. So the reasoning behind why all of these different nations hate black people, it has to be spiritual. They have to be born with the evil in them towards us. They have to be born like that. There's no other explanation, because why would an Asian man think that he can get away with the same crime that a white person does and not get charged with it and try to claim self-defense? Like, these things that happen to us, they're going to stop. They're going to stop. Yeah, I just wanted to get on here and talk about this. There's a pattern that everybody, all black people from a certain walk of life, all of us know what this is. We all know. We're not ignorant, and the people that are doing it are not ignorant to why they're doing it. But we all know what the pattern is, and we all we understand. Get in the comments. I'm out.